Hey guys, this is the Big Is Beauty project. My name's Astarea and I'll be your guest host for the day. And I just want to start off by saying that I am completely honoured to be here for this day and being a part of your wonderful channel. You guys just inspire me every week with your videos, with your commitment and with your stories and experiences. You guys are awesome and you rock. Our topic this week is abusive relationships, and I think specifically we're meant to be talking about abusive relationships as in partners. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to generalize it a little bit and talk about some of my personal experiences with this topic. So my first abusive relationship would have been in my childhood with my mother. She was an extremely abusive person, both physically and emotionally. My father, I witnessed him being a battered husband. I had 3 older brothers and myself, and we were beaten most nights and most days, and the emotional abuse was just as horrific as the physical. And through having those experiences, I grew up having an abusive relationship with myself. I didn't respect myself, I didn't value myself, I didn't honour myself, I didn't believe that I was deserving of any of those things because of the abuse I endured from my mother. So I started becoming really angry and having a lot of rage inside of me about the abuse from my mother in my childhood, and there'd be no way that I was going to be like her. There was no way that I was going to be a violent, angry, abusive person, and especially take that stuff out on other people. But I did feel comfortable enough in punishing myself and taking it out on myself, so I spent years of self-harming myself in a variety of ways, and that was through just beating up on myself really, and that eventuated into taking prescription drugs, self-harming like cutting, and when I was 16, through an experience of where I left home to try and escape the abuse that was happening within my family with my mother and my brother at this stage, and also try and get away from self-harming myself, I ended up moving away from home at the age of 16 into a relationship where the husband was beating up on the wife and the wife was taking it out on the kids, so it was the same scenario all over again really. Within that time I had met someone that I was seeing for about 6 weeks and ended up being attacked, and again another abusive relationship in my life, and ended up coming back home to live with my parents, which some of the similar stuff was happening, and through that I developed anorexia, which is also just an abusive relationship that I had with myself. I spent years living like this before I moved away from home and came down here to Christchurch, in which I got into a relationship with a person for 6 or 7 years. And I'd call that relationship abusive as well, but it wasn't physically abusive, although there was a few times that I got pushed around and knocked around a bit. And it wasn't really emotionally abusive either, and the type of abuse was that this person was really manipulative, they were possessive, they were domineering, they were controlling, but it was like a silent type of abuse, and I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. Like, my partner didn't need to physically hit me or emotionally abuse me for me to actually feel quite fearful and petrified for myself and my well-being. Like I knew my place. I knew that I had to be silent. I knew that I couldn't speak up, and it was like walking on eggshells all the time, and I think that's a type of abuse that isn't really known in the world today, is just what I call that silent abuse. And I spent a good 6 or 7 years feeling quite trapped in that relationship, being fearful of what would happen if I left, and I did end up leaving, and the true colours of this person came out, and they were quite abusive, and police and everything were involved. After that I got into another relationship which was not abusive at all, but it didn't work out, and as it stands today, I am single, and throughout my life where I am in my life at the moment is that I'm learning to love and nurture and support and respect myself, and that really came through from that I believe that all of these emotions that I've held over the years, and that's anger, and that's rage, and that's pain, and that's grief, and that's sadness, and just a lot of emotions in there which I've never been allowed to deal with, has manifested itself into my body. And I have a heart condition which I've spent numerous times in and out of hospital being treated, and metaphysically speaking, one might say that my heart's broken, and if I think about my life, that I definitely feel heartbroken about what's happened to me. And so I am learning at the moment to change the relationship with myself and make it loving and nurturing and pampering and supportive. And this journey has been painful, but it's also been incredibly healing, because I can now forgive myself, and I can feel compassion for myself and love for myself. And I don't have any friends or acquaintances in my life at the moment that are abusive. The people that I have in my life are supportive and loving, and they respect and honour me as a person. And if I can leave on one note for this video, as much as it's great to have these people within my life and to have these relationships with these people who are loving and nurturing, the best relationship that you can have in your life is the relationship that you have with yourself. And if you can honour yourself, and if you can respect yourself, and if you can love yourself, that gets projected out to the world, and those are the people that you're going to reflect back into your lives. Thank you guys for allowing me to have this space this week. As I said in the beginning, it's been an absolute honour being here. Keep up the great work. You guys rock. Ka kite.